Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, a different version of what happened in a recent officer-involved shooting in Moorhead.
Major progress in the investigation into the arson that destroyed Gigi's Playhouse and other businesses in South Fargo.
And how drought conditions are impacting Minnesota's state fruit. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
I understand that a cop's job is a tough job to do. I'm not saying that they have an easy job. I'm saying that this was unnecessary.
Good evening, everyone. 2 women are speaking out tonight on an officer-involved shooting in Moorhead that we've been investigating for weeks.
They're claiming that police fired multiple times at a man who they say had his arms in the air trying to surrender. Police responded to the 2500 block of 4th Avenue North just after 3 p.m. on July 4th on a call of suspicious activity, followed by a foot pursuit and Moorhead officer Andrew Work firing his gun.
23-year-old Isaiah Hopkins was later arrested and is now in prison in St. Cloud on unrelated weapons charges. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke to 2 women today who say it should have never happened like this. It's a story you'll only see on Valley News Live.
It was supposed to be a fun and relaxing 4th of July with family and friends for Taylor Matilton and her boyfriend Isaiah Hopkins.
Watch crossfire! Watch crossfire!
But within less than an hour of the 2 waking up, police and investigators were swarmed around this Moorhead neighborhood with Isaiah Hopkins in handcuffs. After officials say they responded to the area for a suspicious person, but Matilton says that's impossible.
We didn't wake up until 2:30 in the afternoon, and he was booked in at 3:24. So we weren't even up a full hour before all this happened.
Adding Hopkins was at her home nearly every day, so her neighbors know exactly who he is. And Matilton's roommate says at least 2 officers were already in the area, appearing to be looking for someone starting around 11:30 that morning.
So I came out here and I looked.
Matilton says just before 3 p.m. on the 4th, she looked out the window after she hadn't heard Hopkins' motorcycle start.
I saw the cop car with the door open, but I didn't see anybody.
So she says she turned on the police scanner.
They were back up! They were back up!
Matilton and Plinus say Hopkins admits to running and regrets doing so, but calls what happened next, quote, unnecessary.
He said he had a black glove on, but that was for riding his motorcycle. And he put his hands up and he said, no, I'm not armed, I'm not armed. And he said that the cop was screaming at him and then he started shooting.
Both women state in the year or so that they've known Hopkins, they've never seen him have a gun or heard him talk about one. However, at the time of the incident, Hopkins did have a warrant out for his arrest relating to a weapons charge.
This was an unarmed human being with his hands in the air. These were children that saw it. That's why we're reaching out, is because this didn't need to happen this way.
While they know he's not perfect, both women say Hopkins is a good person working on trying to turn his life around, and say they hope the investigation into his incident reveals the truth. In Moorhead, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
On administrative leave, and officials say no one was struck by the gunfire or injured that day. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says that the investigation is still open. It has not yet forwarded any recommendations to the Clay County Attorney. Neither Moorhead Police or the BCA are able to comment on open or active investigations.
Fargo police say a juvenile is behind the strip mall arson earlier this summer that destroyed multiple businesses and caused more than $1 million in damages. Fire investigators say the fire likely started in the attic of one of the businesses and stopped at a firewall in the middle of the building. No one was hurt inside that building, but a firefighter suffered minor injuries. Police have forwarded the report to juvenile court. Parents worried and one person taken to the hospital today after a fire at a home daycare that happened around noon in North Moorhead at 710 12th Street North. Firefighters say flames and smoke were coming from the top floor of the building. They rescued someone from the top floor with serious burns. The daycare was in the downstairs portion of the building. None of the children were hurt and they were sent home with their parents.
Stormy weather yesterday, smoky conditions today, and in some parts of the valley, it's bad. Hutch is here with details. Hutch?
Indeed, it's as bad as it's been all year. Air quality going into the hazardous category in some spots. Here's a look at our home of economy location in Grand Forks, and certainly you can see the haze in the skies, and you can feel it even in the back of your throat here in the Fargo Moorhead area. and ours is not as bad as our neighbors to the east. We have declared Wednesday a first alert weather day. 7 days ago we did it for the heat. We're going to add smoke onto the list of concerns for the weather the next 24 hours. It is hazardous where you see these purples, lower Red Lake and up towards Lake of the Woods, not far from you in Bemidji. Just nasty and unhealthy air quality there. As we head through the next 24 hours, here is your wildfire forecast. I am anticipating that we will have that smoke spilling back into the valley by morning. So many of us, Valley, Northern Valley, and east into Minnesota will deal with unhealthy smoke conditions most of the day. Then in the afternoon, south wind sweeps it out, cleans it out, but that's going to bring the heat, guys. We're talking about dangerous heat for some beginning tomorrow. There it is in Bismarck. It did hit 100 there. Some of us in the valley hitting 100 degrees, and that chance comes daily. We'll have details in your forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
Mandatory water restrictions are in place for those of you living in Moorhead and Dilworth. If your address ends in an even number, you'll only be allowed to water on even numbered days. And if you live on odd numbered addresses, you'll have to wait until tomorrow. Watering is only permitted between 8 at night and 8 in the morning. There are some exceptions. Flowers, gardens, newly planted trees and shrubs, along with freshly seeded lawns, are all exempt from these restrictions.
Farmers just can't seem to catch a break. With the much needed rain that came yesterday, also came hail in many places that damaged the already dry and stressed crops. The CEO of Valley United Co-op says crops can recover from hail in June, but this late in the season, it's a complete loss.
With all the good things that come, we do get some negatives. When we saw the storm come yesterday, we were hopeful, but we did get some hail south and east of here.
Valley United tells us there is one thing that'll be the farmers' saving grace this season. The prices of wheat, corn, and beans have almost doubled due to the dry conditions, meaning whatever can be harvested will be worth more.
Consumer watchdogs and state officials are urging Minnesotans behind on energy bills to tap into millions that are set aside to help. The State Department of Commerce estimates 340,000 households are past due on energy and gas bills, totaling $140 million. The good news is that the state has hundreds of millions of dollars available to help low-income people keep the AC on during the summer. The state's energy assistance program just got a surge of $167 million more dollars from the American Rescue Plan federal stimulus. Applications are now open all year, and households with incomes at or below 60% of the median income qualify.
The additional money that we've gotten from the federal government this year has allowed us to increase the dollar value of the benefits, and we hope to serve more people. So we've tried to maximize the dollar value that you can get for each application.
Those grants can cover payment on energy bills or replacement or repair of homeowners' broken heating systems.
Although it may not be easily visible, the city of Moorhead says progress is being made on the big Overpass Project along Main Avenue, 20th Street and 21st Street. Concrete bridges, decks are complete for 2 bridges over 21st Street, and a storm water pumping station is also finished. About 70% of excavation is done. The Otter Tail Valley Railroad track is already in use, and the permanent track for BNSF should be done in the fall. Temporary hay bales are being replaced with sound dampening curtains to help reduce noise for people who live in the area.
A group of North Dakotans is trying to build a new political party named after former President Donald Trump. They registered the trade name Trump's America First GOP, and while confirmed by the Secretary of State Al Jaeger, his office won't recognize the group as a political party until they meet state requirements, which include having candidates for president, governor, attorney general, and secretary of state, and receiving at least 5% of the popular vote in these races.
Well, we're the real Republicans. We're going to stay with the Republican principles. We're going to be the Republican Party. We're going to have the whole platform, and we're going to follow our platform. And in order to be a member of this party, you'll have to adhere to the platform.
For now, it's simply a name that no one else can use.
Minnesota grows some of the tastiest apples in the world. Up next on Valley News Live at 6, how the drought is impacting this year's crop.
Smoke? Yes, a lot of it. Just look, if you can, even see the trees there. This is from Polk County and Maple Lake area. Thanks so much, Marilyn, for your photo. And this one from last night's storm. We have more weather of concern, but it's not severe thunderstorm type weather. It's heat and it's smoke. And your hour-by-hour forecast is coming up right after this.